name's Mischell Riley and welcome to the Joy of Sculpting. Today we have a really cool subject matter. It's one of my favorite. It is the bald eagle. And I'm going to teach you how to do a few simple techniques and shapes. Ice cream cone shape, and we're using oil-based clay today. There's lots of clays out there that you can use. This one is oil base, smooth, and I like to warm it up with my hands. It makes a nice creamy texture to work with. This has been warmed up a little bit, but when you first get it, it's all crumbly. You need to warm it up. But I'm going to show you basic techniques on how to get different values. This is a dark value, a medium value, and a light value. And that in a nutshell with a snake or a cylinder shape is my basic simple techniques with circles, squares, ice cream cone shapes. You can take your finger and blend on each side of the snake. I use water because oil and water doesn't mix, but it glides right across the clay, and see how it smooths it right, simple and nice. Now with these simple techniques you can create a quick sculpture very easily. Now I'm self-taught, so what I teach you on this show, I'm going to save you years and tons of time of trying to do self-discovery. I have some students that advanced in their work. It looked like 3 years in 1 week, and they couldn't believe the techniques they were learning. But what we have is the eagle head here. And we're just going to take the shape. If we were to look at that, it's basically an ice cream cone shape bent. So we're going to take the clay and kind of make that shape. Pull some off there. Whoops. And I'm just going to roll it real quick to get a flat surface. Now don't worry so much about the cracks and everything, because we're going to smooth that out. We're just looking for the basic shape. So we have nice and smooth basic shape. Well, you're saying that doesn't look much like an eagle, but it will. It looks like an ice cream cone. And how about ice cream cone with 2 scoops? 2 scoops, please. It's fun to play with the clay. It's a good time, and just get creative and playful. And what we're going to do is we're going to look at the eagle and the proportions. We're just going to bend the tip. Wow, we already have an eagle tip right there. And then I'm just going to caliper and look at this eagle. Come back here, and from here to here, here to here, nick it with my thumb. Bink. And that's where I'm going to bend it, where it starts to bend. And in a nutshell, we have our basic eagle shape. It's pretty cool already. And I like to stick it on an armature. An armature is something, it's like a metal skeleton for the clay, and that helps it hold it into place. And that way I can move it around and I don't hold it in my hand and smash it while I'm working on it. So next, there's 4 phases that I like to do. I'm petting the eagle. 4 phases is bulk out, which we just did, which is the basic shape, and then proportions, which is where we start to look at different things, like there's kind of a circular pattern in the, not the fur, but the feathers here, and little shapes here and here. And so what I'm going to do next is I'm going to smooth it. See how I use this part of my hand? We could spend hours going do 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 do, but we can do it in one simple swipe. The good thing about clay is get bold, and it's very forgiving. So if you screw up, you can just swipe over it and erase. So we're just gonna, and if you need to, take it off, swipe it. And we only have a few minutes for this show, so we're going to go pretty quick. Now this eagle took me a few more hours. So don't be frustrated if you can't sculpt something in 28 minutes, because I barely can. So I'm going to show you real quick what we do next. Is we got this beak right here. I'm going to just kind of dip my finger in water and smooth it. Now that we have a pretty smooth space, I'm going to draw on the clay. And what we have here is an eyebrow. So I'm just going to mark it like an eyebrow. Do the same on the other side, an eyebrow area. Then the beak area goes like this and like this. And it's a little bit narrower in the eagle beak, so we're going to cut some of that off. Just like that, and pull that off. Cut some of that off. Pull that off. See how easy that is? And then we're just going to draw some lines where the plumage goes. Just some guidelines. And then these tool marks here, you know, it looks like somebody just gouged into the clay. So we're going to just soften that off and round it off with our finger, just to make that nice and smooth. See how that really just comes to shapes, just glides in your hand. See, I'm going to support it. I don't want to do that because my fingers will leave prints, so I support it with a big part of my hand. Just gently get in there. Take my thumb. And we got a pretty good start there, I think. Then I'm going to draw in where the eye is. And this is, you can do this with photographs also. And say, well, I don't know where to put the eye. I put it too far back or too low. How do I know how to place the eye? Well, what I tell my students is use your fingers as calipers. And from where the beak is, you could do this on a drawing too. Touch that to where the center of the eye is, and use that as a caliper. And you go pink. And then you can start to draw in the shapes where you go the eyebrow, and where you nicked it would be just a quick little thing like that. So we got a basic thing right there. We're going to do the same over here. And another, instead of re-measuring each time, since we're doing three-dimensional, I like to use my thumbs as calipers and touch this right here to the other side. And then that way I can touch where the eye is and mark it real quick. This has really saved me a lot of time. And so I'm going to cut in that area and just get a basic shape for the eye. Now that we just kind of have that drawn in, we're going to add some texture to it. We're going to add these snakes that I pre-rolled. And snakes are real simple to do. Most kids know how to do it, where you just roll like this. And I'm going to look at the other eagle, and we're just going to kind of look at some of the plumage and the direction of the feathers and do that on here. So we're just going to put it on there and pinch it off. And this has quite a few on there, but we're limited time, so we're just going to do a few, but I'm going to show you how to make it look really good in a short amount of time. So I'm just going to place some of these on here. And if they're too long, you can just pinch them off. That's looking pretty good so far. It's a little long over on the back side here, and you can see how I kind of cut it off. I mean, you can be creative with your designs. I'll lift it up, see what I'm doing. See how I just cut all of that off just to get that nice little angle there? I'm going to do that on this side too. So I just cut right over that. And I'll put it right back on here. Get that out of the way. And we're going to add a few on top up here. We're going to do an eyebrow. And we just kind of, you can even hold it, your piece of clay up to the other eagle and to get a proportion measurement. And kind of put it on there, and you can see how the light plays on there. And what sculpture is light play and how your light falls across your piece. And I'm just going to put another one on the other side. And this is phase 2. We're getting the proportions. And throw a few more snakes on here. Let's see, let's just put one right here. Yeah. I'm just going to roll a few more little longer snakes for the top of his head. Right here. Now he's starting to look like an eagle. Now we're getting into the blending part where we just dip our finger into the water and we start to blend some of our snakes. He needs a little guy right there, I think. So we're just going to blend push it down and then blend it up so where it disappears a little bit. And then we do that around the whole piece. And sometimes your fingers can't get in there, and that's when you get in there with the tool and you can just smooth it off like this. And sometimes it might stick out farther than you like, and that's what I like to use this tool for. Make some lines in there, some creative, artistic lines. And you'll see a lot of crumbs, and that's okay. Now we have this teardrop shape on this other eagle here, and it's either like a teardrop or a lion's tail. So I'm going to create that shape by just making a snake that's fatter on one side and then smashing it. Putting it underneath his cheek right here. See how that stands out there? That's pretty neat. And then take my finger and blend it in there. Now if your fingers are a little fumbly